if we could focus on one of the areas where there are poor outcomes for Pasifika, and that's in the area of health. So the New Zealand Medical Journal found that 50% of all Māori and Pasifika deaths are potentially avoidable in comparison to 23% for non-Māori and non-Pasifika. So you're the chair of the only Pacific health provider in Porirua. What do you think can be done to turn this around?
It's structural. It's a lot of it is institutional, but there has to be significant change because, I was talking to another media group the other week, and there's something wrong after you have COVID. After all the statistics that Pacific have, we are at the bottom of most, bar no one, in terms of job losses, underlying health conditions, poor housing. We are at the bottom. Yet we only received 2 times more the resources when we had the first lockdown, whereas Māori received 4 times the resources and Europeans or mainstream received 3 times the resources. Now, if you base it on need, it should have been the other way around. So here again, but the other thing is with it is we have to do our own thing in terms of advocacy. And that's what I'm saying is the Pacific have to, if they want to, no community around the world got anywhere without struggle. And so you can't be silent. You've actually got to say what you want and articulate it in a manner that other people listen to it. But we are a silent group. We tend to rely on our ministers and our church leaders to advocate for us. And, to be fair, there's a fair amount of agreeableness. And I think what we've got to change is we can't be agreeable. We've got to be more assertive. And so it's a different way of looking at things. And it is part cultural, but every civilization over history that hasn't evolved and changed and hasn't done too well.
Yeah, I think it's probably fair to say there's maybe a cultural reluctance to appear that we're not being grateful, that we're not, that we're complaining. Whereas, I mean, what you seem to be talking about is, we can still, say things and be respectful, but be clear about what we want.
I think you've got to look at it, if this is your family and your family's health and their ability to be alive and well, then I think you would fight for your own family. So we've got to take that attitude to when we're talking, because actually they are affected. And, like we thought we were doing great in the first lockdown, but actually you'd probably argue there wasn't a lot of transmission, mainly because, we're in South Auckland, we're in Porirua. Those aren't places where tourists or a lot of outside international people come to. So was it luck, or was it, there wasn't a lot of early testing going on. And so we've got to be a lot more discerning about how we advocate for these things.